Lansing's only sports station. The Game, 7:30.
Let's play.
The basketball postseason is just around the corner, and a very familiar name swims to the top at the Upper Peninsula Finals. I'm John Ross, and this is This Week in High School Sports, powered by Michigan Student Aid. The boys' basketball brackets were released on Sunday, as the MHSAA boys' basketball tournament is set to start on Monday, February 26th. In each district, the top two teams, according to NPR, were placed on opposite sides of the draw, and the remaining teams were placed according to a random draw. Next Sunday, the 25th, the girls' bracket will be released. It's done the same way, with the top two teams in each district going on opposite sides of the bracket, and the girls' tournament begins March 4th. A great majority of tournament games will be available on the NFHS Network. Just go to nfhsnetwork.com to search for your team's games. The finals for both the girls and boys will air live on Bally Sports Detroit. The boys' finals are Saturday, March 16th, with the girls 1 week later on March 23rd. Remember, the boys' tournament is first this year. Semifinals and finals will be played at the Breslin Center in East Lansing. The defending champs on the boys' side are Detroit Cass Tech in D1, Ferndale in Division II, Flint Beecher in Division III, and Munising in D4. On the girls' side, it was Rockford in Division I, Lansing Catholic in D2, Hemlock in Division III, and Maple City Glen Lake in Division IV. For scores, updated brackets, and game times, please be sure to check out MHSAA.com. It's time for Game Balls, when we highlight a trio of standout performances from the past week. First, Madawan's Noah Van Lanningham. He scored a school record 40 in a game against Holt, making 9 triples in the process. The 40 points put him over 1,000 career points and made him Madawan's all-time leading scorer. Mason County Eastern's Clay Shoup. Clay poured in 55 points in a win over Manistee Catholic, breaking the school's single-game record. And to both the boys and girls bowling teams at Bay City John Glenn, each captured their 4th straight Bay County championship.
For high school seniors, the matchup of the year isn't on the field. It's actually online. That's right. When you fill out the FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid, you could also be eligible for thousands of dollars in additional money from the Michigan Achievement Scholarship. Yep, nearly 80% of students who fill out the FAFSA may be eligible. Now that's a matchup we can all root for. Get started today at michigan.gov/achievement. The Michigan Achievement Scholarship. It's a game changer.
Our weekly Be the Referee feature takes a look at the fine art of officiating with the MHSAA's Director of Officiating Services, Sam Davis.
We're on the basketball court today, where a player fires up a shot that fails to make it to the basket. An air ball. But if he's able to catch the ball before anyone else touches it, is this a traveling violation? If not, what is the player able to do now? It is not traveling as long as the referee judges the first release of the ball as a shot attempt. After catching the shot, it's treated the same as grabbing an offensive rebound that hit the rim. The player can now restart his dribble, pass the ball, or shoot again. A shot attempt is a shot attempt, regardless of it hitting the rim or backboard.
Thanks, Sam. Now more than ever, we need officials. If you're interested, go to the MHSAA website now to register. With most winter sports just starting the postseason, there is one that's already in the record books. The UP Swimming and Diving held its finals at Marquette over the weekend, and the host school won titles on both the boys and girls side. The girls brought home their 5th title in 6 years and 28th overall. They finished first in 4 individual and 2 relay events. Grace Sobchak was a part of 4 of those wins. She was fastest in the 200-yard individual medley, the 500 freestyle, and was on the 200 medley and 400 freestyle relay teams. Gladstone was second, Ishpeming Westwood third. For the boys, similar story. Marquette finished first in 3 individual events and all 3 relays. It's their 5th straight title and 31st overall. Junior Trevor Crandall won the 50-yard freestyle and was on the winning 200 medley and 400 freestyle relay teams. Houghton finished second, Gladstone was third. For complete coverage from the Pool and Marquette, be sure to go to MHSAA.com. You've been listening to This Week in High School Sports, powered by Michigan Student Aid, a production of the MHSAA Network. Thanks for joining us. I'm John Ross. We'll be back next week.
Lansing Sports Leader, The Game, 7:30 a.m.
And a pleasant good Saturday morning to everyone out there listening. This is another edition of High School Rewind here on The Game, 7:30 a.m. WVFN, The Game, 730am.com, The Game 730 a.m. app, and the Lansing Sports Network, lansingsportsnetwork.com. You can find the show there as well. We are brought to you today and always by Jeff and Chris Metz and Dowding Industries. If you're wondering what your future holds and you're not going to college, or you found out college just isn't for you, check out the future that skilled trades can offer you. You'll be surprised. Check them out at dowdingindustries.com. And Megan Zemer and her great staff at the Lansing Sports Commission. No matter the sport, the Lansing Sports Commission can make your next event your best event. Plan on something greater. Find out more at lansingsports.org. This is High School Rewind, the weekly show that recaps the week that was in boys and girls basketball. The regular season is now over in boys basketball. Girls basketball's got a week to go, and we're right down to it here in late February. We were Eric Dokolov and I. Oh, by the way, yeah, I'm Brock Palmbush. If you can't recognize the voice, yes, I am Brock Palmbush. Eric Dokolov joined me last night from East Lansing High School. Another thriller. Again, closer than the score indicated. East Lansing beat Okemos 68-55. This was close for 3.5 quarters, and then East Lansing turned up the defense, turned up the excitement, and made their free throws in the final stretches to get the win over Okemos. Their second win over the Wolves this season, 68-55. East Lansing did it without a couple of rotational pieces, as starter and J.L. Branson out injured, and Deontay Macy, a backup big, who didn't play. So other guys had to step up and play, and their two top guys, not including J.L. Branson, who didn't play, but Cam Hudson and K.J. Torbert, they were terrific last night. Cam Hudson, 27 points, 8 rebounds. K.J. Torbert, 18 points, 3 rebounds. And like Eric said during the broadcast, yeah, it was a quiet 18, but there he was. You look at the end of the night, he had 18 points. And defense. They got some steals. Charlie Baker had a couple of big blocks in the last 4 minutes, and East Lansing converted off of them and really got the crowd into it. And they finished the regular season 20-2, undefeated league champions in the CAAC Blue, and they will play next week in the district semifinals at Mason High School. That will be against the winner of the Holt Everett game, which is being played on Monday. Coming up later on in the show, I will go over the boys basketball district matchups. No coaches interviews today, and the same will be true next week, because next week we'll go over the girls basketball district matchups coming up. So really looking forward to that. And for the first time, it's got to be ever, we have undefeated league champions in our 4 main leagues. The CAAC Blue, East Lansing finished 12-0 in league play. Mason finished the league season 9-0 in league play after they were victorious earlier this week in league play. And just having a great season was the boys at Mason High School. They were victorious earlier in the week. They actually won that league by 4 games. 4 games. Mason 10-0 in league play. Williamston at 6-4. Mason will play Okemos coming up next week in the district semifinals. The J-Dubs of Sexton, tough fight out at Portland High School last night, but Coach DeLeon Deering led the Big Reds to a big road win, 53-45. They finish the CAAC white season undefeated at 14-0 in league play. They win that league by 4 games over Charlotte. And Sexton will play at the Charlotte District coming up next week. Sexton, 17-4, 15 straight wins, led by their excellent sophomore, Keyshawn Somerville, and also Devin Hodges-Smith. They had each had 15 points in their victory last night. And, of course, got to mention Langsburg, 18-0, CMAC champions, 22-0 overall. They've won 47 of their last 48 games, and they've won 50 of their last 52 games dating back 2 years ago. And they're led by their great all-stater in Xander Woodruff, averaging almost 33 a game. He had 30-plus points in their big victory over Bath earlier this week. Outright league champs in the CMAC, undefeated. So in the CAAC Blue, East Lansing 12-0 in league play. In the CAAC Red, Mason 10-0 in league play. CAAC White, Sexton 14-0 in league play. And in the CMAC, Langsburg at 18-0 in league play. And that is pretty remarkable. I don't know if that's ever happened. I really don't. And congratulations to all of them for finishing the regular season undefeated. In other action on the boys' side last night, Waverly, you know what? Waverly told me Vince Perkins, their scorekeeper, I don't want to say assistant coach, but he's their scorekeeper. He does their stats and everything. He told me after they beat Okemos a week and a half ago in overtime, their goal was to finish tied for second. Well, they got it. They beat DeWitt at home last night in a tough one, 62-58, and Waverly could play DeWitt in the district final next week at Grand Ledge. Deontay Pfeiffer, excellent senior season, 24 points to lead the Warriors in the victory. Trey Miller, Keenan Harris, 9 points. Derek Thomas, the second, 8 points. They are a formidable team as Waverly, 9-3 in the league. They finished the regular season at 17-5, and they'll be the favorite to win that district out at Grand Ledge High School in Division I. Congratulations to Rod Watts and that crew. They are playing really, really well right now. Lansing Catholic beat Olivet in CAAC White play. Lansing Catholic finishing the season much better. They finished at 8-14. They struggled last year, but was able to get to the district final. Maybe something like that could happen again. Who the heck knows? Drew Tolfree led Jake Bullock's squad with 20 points. Seth Honnenberg had 13. Also in the CAAC Blue, Everett beat Grand Ledge 60-58. Marion May had 20 points to lead the Vikings in the victory. Holt beat Jackson in non-conference play 65-50. Some of the other action that occurred last night. Also, Perry beat Portland St. Pat's 58-45. Ionia over Lakewood 69-44. Charlotte over Eaton Rapids 55-39. They're going to finish second in the CAAC White behind Sexton, and they'll go play at their home district next week at the Oriole Dome. That's coming up on Monday, and I believe Charlotte is playing Monday. Again, we'll go over the boys district matchups coming up on the other side of this next break coming up. Let's take a look at the girls' action that occurred this week. Yep, we got league champions figured out as well for the most part. Don't have it quite complete in the CMAC because they got 1 week to go, but DeWitt won the league championship outright with a big win last Tuesday night at Holt High School. They were winners 54-41, and kind of just like last night's game with East Lansing and Okemos. Close for 3.5 quarters, and then DeWitt used their defense and were able to make free throws and were able to finish the game winning it 54-41. In that game on Tuesday night, Maddie Ewell had 18 points and 7 rebounds. Tara Kearns, 15 points and 4 rebounds. And let's see, Sophia Beland had 10 points. She had 5 rebounds as well. Coming off the bench, Carly Dennis, 6 points and 7 rebounds. DeWitt, now 19-2 on the season. They play Caledonia next week to finish up the regular season. We will have teams that will finish tied for second in the CAAC Blue. Holt and East Lansing will finish tied there. They are both 9-3 in league play. Holt 13-7 right now. East Lansing is 13-6, and they actually play today at home against Heartland. One of 2 area games on the girls' side going on today. In the CAAC Red, Williamston, outright league champs. They win it by 2 games over Hazlitt. The 2 wins over Hazlitt, the difference in the season. Williamston, 16-4 overall, undefeated, 10-0 in league play. Congratulations to Coach Pete Cool and his squad. A little bit unexpected. A lot of people thought Hazlitt would win that league again, but Williamston comes out victorious. In the CAAC White, we got co-champs. It is Portland and Lansing Catholic will share the league championship. Portland 18-1. They were able to win last night to to beat Flint Carmen Ainsworth 63-43, but clinched a share of the league title by winning earlier this week. Lansing Catholic was victorious last night. They won very big. It was 62-17. They beat Olivet at home easily to clinch a share of the league championship at 11-1. Olivet will finish third in that league at 10-4 in league play. In the CMAC, Portland St. Pat's clinches a share of the league championship, and they can win it outright. Next week if they are victorious. Portland St. Pat's beat Bath on the road last night, 54-46. Laney Meredith, 14 points. Riley Schur, 13 points. Graceland Rocky, 11 points, 6 rebounds. They're 19-2 on the season, 16-1 in league play. A share of the league championship. Fowler just a game back at 15-2. And St. Pat's, one of the smallest schools in the state. It is just remarkable what they have been able to do with all the enrollment issues that school has had. I think it's under 100 kids now. If it's not, it's right around 100 kids. But, man, they are just remarkable. And they play next week on Tuesday, I believe, the 27th, 26th, 27th. Yeah, that's Tuesday. They host Langsburg coming up next week, and if they can win that, they will be outright league champs once again. Fowler, an outstanding team as well. They've lost the Riley sisters, Mia and Emma Riley, last couple of years. They just keep on going. They're an outstanding squad. 17-3 on the season, 15-2 in league play, and if St. Pat's slips up, Fowler could just sneak in and get a share of the league title. St. Pat's and Fowler split their regular season meetings this season. And Ovid Elsie, 18-2 on the season. They were victorious last night, getting contributions from a lot of people right now. Braden Tokar. We know about Ava Bates, but Braden Tokar been very, very good. Allison Moore, Eliana Carmen each had 13 points. Ovid Elsie going to win the Mid-Michigan Athletic Conference, undefeated in that league, 18-2 overall. They got to the quarterfinals last year. Could go that far again this season in Division III. An outstanding squad Coach Dr. Ryan Cunningham has once again. Leslie, another squad at 15-5 on the season. They are playing in a Cascades crossover matchup today against Hanover Horton. That's at Spring Arbor College, and then they'll finish up with a game next week as well. Morris won 3 times this week, 14-5 overall. Aubrey Rogers, their outstanding senior, she had a triple-double last night, but not the triple-double you might think. Yeah, 27 points, 10 rebounds, but she had 10 steals as well. 10 steals. First career triple-double. And she also had a game earlier this year. She had 20 steals in a game. 20. 2-0. Not 10, not 5. She had 20 steals in a game against Burton Atherton earlier this season. And, Morris able to win the Genesee Blue Conference, but we'll see what they can do in districts. Last couple of years, they win their league, and then when they get in a league get in a district, when they play a CMAC team or somebody else really good in Division IV, they've struggled in the last couple of years. We'll see if that can change coming up this season. But, hey, 14-5 is 14-5, and that's pretty darn good. We'll certainly take that. All right, that's what happened last night and this week. 1 week to go for the girls. District matchups coming up for the boys next week. Coming up on the other side of this break, I'll go over all the district matchups coming up in Divisions 1, 2, 3, and 4. 37 area teams will open state tournament play next week. We'll go over it all coming up next. This is High School Rewind on the Game 730 AM WVFN and the Lansing Sports Network, brought to you by Dowding Industries. Jeff and Chris Metz and Dowding Industries, I always forget that, and the Lansing Sports Commission.
Lansing's only sports station, the Game 730.
Let's play.
Welcome back to High School Rewind here on the Game 730 AM WVFN, the weekly show that recaps the week that was in boys and girls basketball. We're brought to you by Jeff and Chris Metz and Dowding Industries. If you're wondering what your future holds and you're not going to college, you found out college just isn't for you, check out the future that skilled trades can offer you. You'll be surprised Check them out at doubtingindustries.com. And by Megan Zemer and her great staff at the Lansing Sports Commission. No matter the sport, the Lansing Sports Commission can make your next event your best event. Plan on something greater. Find out more at lansingsports.org. All right. Yes, now time to go over the district matchups. You can find these on the game, 730am.com, at lansingsportsnetwork.com. And if these are just the local ones right now. If you want to go look at any of the district matchups, pairings, coming up next week on the boys' side, you can go to the Michigan High School Athletic Association website, or you can go to the D-Zone website. They have a site that's really, really good as well, and might be a little bit easier to read for some of the people out there to read and follow. But here we go. Let's get on with the district matchups. Starting in Division I at Mason High School. Coming up on Monday night, it's just one game. This is one of those 5-team districts. It is Holt. They are 9-13 on the season after they were victorious last night. They are going to play Everett at 9-11. They will play at 7 o'clock coming up on Monday night. Coming up on Wednesday, East Lansing, the top seed, 20-2 on the season. They will play the Holt Everett winner at 5:30 that night. And then the marquee matchup coming up on Wednesday, two outstanding teams, 20-2 Mason, the CAAC Red champions, against the tied for second place team out of the CAAC Blue. That's 18-4 Okemos. That's at 7 o'clock or 15 or 20 minutes after the first game is done. And then, of course, the two winners will play on Friday night at Mason High School. That's the game that Eric, Doc Love, and I are looking at for a matchup that you'll hear here on WVFN coming up next week. If that is the case, we'll hit the air right about 6:45 or so. Coming up at Grand Ledge in Division I, it is the homestanding Grand Ledge Comets. They are at 8-14 on the season. They will play an Eastern squad that is 11-11 on the season. That's a 7 o'clock start at Grand Ledge High School. In the second matchup, it is DeWitt at 13-8. They will play St. John's, who is 11-11. They are playing at 5:30 that night, and they will go up against, that's one semifinal, and then the top seed in the district, Waverly, tied for second in the CAAC Blue this season. They are 17-5. They will play the Grand Ledge Eastern winner. That's at 7 o'clock, and of course the two winners will play for the district championship coming up on Friday night at 7 o'clock at Grand Ledge High School. Out at Ionia High School in Division II, Lakewood, Lake Odessa Lakewood. They are 4-18 on the season. They will play Belding, a team that was 15-6 this season. They play at 5:30 p.m. at Ionia High School. Nice gym out there, seats more than 2,000 people. They should have good crowds out there for that. Lakewood playing Belding in game number 1 on Monday at 5:30. Couple of Grand Rapids teams playing in that other matchup at 7 o'clock. Grand Rapids, West Michigan Aviation Academy at 12-9 against Ada Forest Hills Eastern at 10-11. They play at 7 o'clock. On Wednesday, Portland. Portland is 13-7 on the season. They will play the Belding Lakewood winner at 5:30. And then at 7 o'clock, it's the homestanding Ionia squad at 10-12 playing the Grand Rapids West Michigan Aviation Ada Forest Hills Eastern winner at 7 o'clock. And then the two winners will play Friday night at Ionia High School at 7 o'clock. At Charlotte, the Oriole Dome, great place. Best place to, other than maybe Don Johnson Fieldhouse, the best place to watch a high school basketball game in the mid-Michigan area is the Oriole Dome out in Charlotte. And they will open on Monday night with Eaton Rapids at 9-13 on the season, taking on Lansing Catholic at 8-14. That's a 5:30 start in game 1. Charlotte at 16-6 will play Hazlitt in that game. They are 4-16, 5-16 on the season. They will play at 7 o'clock. Sexton, league champs, 17-4 on the season. They've won 15 in a row. They'll play the Eaton Rapids Lansing Catholic winner at 5:30. Sexton, the top seed in that district. And then 15-7 Olivet drew the second seed. They will play the Charlotte Hazlitt winner at 7 o'clock in the semifinals. And the two winners will play for the title on Friday night. Also in Division II, it is Ann Arbor, Gabriel Richard. That's where it's going to be on Monday. Fowlerville, they finished the season 5-17. They are going to play Pinckney at 4-17 at 7 o'clock on Monday. That at Ann Arbor, Gabriel Richard. Then Wednesday, Chelsea at 15-6 will play the Fowlerville Pinckney winner at 5:30. And then in the other semifinal, Williamston at 11-11 will play Ann Arbor, Gabriel Richard. In the other semifinal, and the two winners will play on Friday. Again, Chelsea will play the Fowlerville Pinckney winner in game 1 on Wednesday at 5:30. Williamston against Ann Arbor, Gabriel Richard at 7 o'clock, and then the championship is at 7. Coming up, Division III at Potterville High School, another 5-team district. Saranac, 6-16 on the season, will play 7-13 Carson City Crystal at 7 o'clock on Monday at Potterville, just one game. And then the semifinals, Potterville at 7-15 will play Vermontville Maple Valley. Maple Valley at 9-13, and then Pewamo Westphalia, the heavy favorite in this district, at 20-2 on the season. Only 2 losses to Langsburg, and that's only losses this season. Only losses in league play. And they're the heavy favorite to win that. They'll play either Saranac or Carson City Crystal in the semifinals at 7 o'clock on Wednesday, and then the two winners play on Friday at 7 o'clock. It is possible that PW and Langsburg could play for the state title. They are in opposite halves of the bracket statewide, and the only way they could play each other a third time in the state finals at the Breslin Center on finals weekend in 3 weeks. Who knows what that would be just wild if that happened. You had 2 league teams playing each other for a state title. Let's go to Langsburg. Langsburg is hosting their district coming up on Monday. 2 semifinal games. We got, or 2 quarterfinal games rather. Dansville at 10-12 playing Perry. They are 12-10 on the season. They will play at 5:30 on Monday. Leslie, a team that is 8-14 on the season, will play Bath at 4-18. That's a 7 o'clock start, or 20 minutes after the first game. That's the Monday doubleheader. And then on Wednesday, 22-0, Langsburg will play the Dansville Perry winner on Wednesday at 5:30. And then the second seed in that district, Stockbridge, very credible team, 16-6 on the season. They will play the Leslie Bath winner at 7 o'clock. And then, of course, the 2 semifinal winners, probably Langsburg against Stockbridge coming up on Friday night at 7 o'clock. Also at Chesaning High School. Chesaning, 22-0 on the season. They don't play until Wednesday, but they're going to play the Montrose St. Charles winner. Montrose and St. Charles play at 5:30 on Monday. Montrose 9-11, St. Charles at 4-17. New Lothrop 9-12 will play Byron at 3-18. That's a 7 o'clock start. Chesaning, the aforementioned Chesaning team, 22-0 on the season, will play the Montrose St. Charles winner at 5:30. And the area team that's in that district, Ovid Elsie, they are 13-9 on the season. They lost to Chesaning last night in a close one, the second seed in that district. They will play the New Lothrop Byron winner at 7 o'clock, and the 2 winners on Wednesday will play for the title on Friday night. It looks like that will be Chesaning against Ovid Elsie. And finally, we got a couple of districts in Division 4 at Bellevue High School. It is Fulton at 15-6 playing Lansing Christian at 2-20. 7 o'clock is the start time on Monday night. And then on Wednesday, Bellevue 15-4 will play Portland St. Patrick at 11-11. That's a 5:30 start there at Bellevue High School. And then Fowler will play the winner of the Fulton-Lansing Christian game at 7 o'clock on Wednesday. Fowler finished in third place in the CMAC. No shame in that. 14-4 in league play, 15-7 overall. There are only 4 losses of the season. Well, there are 4 league losses, 2 to Langsburg, 2 to PW. Hey, no shame in that. No shame in finishing third to those 2 outstanding teams. We know about the All-Stater at Langsburg in Xander Woodruff. PW has another All-Stater as well, Grady Eklund, just a 10th grader. What a terrific player he is. Dominic Schneider has a really good team there. Jamison Eklund, former PW star, now a star at Lansing Community College. And finally, at Weberville High School, we've got We've got some area teams there. Morris at 5-16 is playing Novi Christian Academy at 4-13. They play Monday night at 7 o'clock over at Weberville High School. And then the aforementioned Weberville team, 10-10 on the season. They are playing West Bloomfield Frankel Jewish Academy at 4-17 at 5:30 in the afternoon at home. And it's just wild how these districts are drawn. You got Weberville, a Lansing area team, although in the eastern edges of it, playing a team out of the Detroit area. That is just really wild. It's how it's drawn sometimes. Sometimes it works out that way. That's a 5:30 start. And then Brighton Livingston Christian, the top seed in this district, at 15-5, will play the Morris Novi Christian Academy winner at 7 o'clock. Then, of course, the two winners will play on Friday for the championship. So those are the district matchups coming up next week. You can find all these district matchups at thegame730am.com, at lansingsportsnetwork.com. And if you want to look at those and any of the other district matchups across the state of Michigan, go to mhsaa.com. They've got them up there too. Or the D-Zone, have the D-Zone website. Just search D-Zone and you can find it. And they've got all the matchups there. Might be a little bit easier to read as far as brackets go for you, the listening public. So that's it. That's what we got for boys basketball. We will, this time next week, we're going to go over all the girls district matchups because those will be announced by the MHSAA coming up tomorrow. And I will post those early next week, probably Wednesday at the latest. The final boys basketball top 10 poll will be released. I will put that out on Monday. The next to last poll for the girls will be released on Tuesday. And then the district matchups for the area in girls basketball, that will be, I will post those involving the area teams coming up on Wednesday. So that's what we got coming up. That's what's coming up next week. And we got more to come on this edition of High School Rewind. It's Brian Calloway, the prep sports editor of the Lansing State Journal, LSJ.com. We'll recap everything that went on this week with him, including the game you heard last night here on the game, 7:30 a.m. WVFN. It was Okemos and East Lansing. We'll talk about that and all the other goings on boys and girls basketball coming up. High School Rewind on the game, 7:30 a.m. WVFN and the Lansing Sports Network, brought to you by Jeff and Chris Metz and Dowding Industries and by the Lansing Sports Commission.
Lansing Sports Station, the game, 7:30 a.m.
Welcome back to High School Rewind on the game, 7:30 a.m. WVFN, brought to you by Jeff and Chris Metz and Dowding Industries and by Megan Zemer and her great staff at the Lansing Sports Commission. Happy to be joined now once again by the prep sports editor of the Lansing State Journal, LSJ.com. He is Brian Calloway. And Brian, we were both at last night's Okemos at East Lansing game. Man, scoring-wise, almost a carbon copy of the first game. 66-52 was the first game. East Lansing won, closer than the score indicated. This game, 68-55 East Lansing, and once again, closer than the score indicated. It was a carbon copy on the scoreboard, and it seemed like a carbon copy on the court. Close for better than three quarters, and then East Lansing turns up the defense and wins the game by double figures.
No, yeah, that's definitely really how things transpired. And, I mean, this was a game that was tied at 48 in the middle stages of the fourth quarter before East Lansing went on the late run there. So, East Lansing was without J.L. Branson and, still got, impressive performances from, Cameron Hudson, and then K.J. Torber obviously had some big plays as well, too. And then, one of the things Ray Mitchell was talking about all season with this group is that, it's just beyond the big three of, Branson, Hudson, and Torber. And I thought they got a lot of contributions and big shots at times from various other people, whether it was Cameron Essel knocking down some big threes. B.J. Wyndham had some big plays as well, too. And then, obviously, Christian Dunn and Charlie Baker had some big moments as well, too, in that game as well, too, that helped East Lansing kind of close that game out. Yeah,
I thought a real big key from East Lansing not getting down by double figures was the bench players coming in and holding down the fort, late in the first quarter. Starters needed some rest, and, guys like, Cam Essel. Alan McGrew didn't score. He only had 3 rebounds, but I thought he was a factor in the game. Owen Fortman came in and gave him a few good minutes, and you mentioned Baker and Dunn, who are starters, But they were able to, hang in there, and and then the starters came in the second quarter and took the lead. And man, Cam Hudson, that's the kind of aggressiveness that a lot of D1 programs are looking for with him. It just seemed like they knew they were without two players. They were without J.L. Branson, you mentioned him, but they're also without backup big Deontay Macy. So Coach Ray Mitchell, decided to go deeper in the bench. And it seemed like that Hudson especially realized that, and it was almost like he said to himself, okay, just get me the rock and I'll take care of things, because he bowled his way to the basket and was terrific.
Oh, yeah, he was terrific. And one of the things Ray Mitchell said to us following the game is, he kind of told this group that, a lot of what's going to happen over the next few weeks is going to be dictated by matchups, and was kind of urging his players to kind of be ready, because you never know when your number is going to be called. So, I mean, this is a group that is really focused as they head into the second season, and obviously they have some big aspirations for what could unfold over the next few weeks.
Brian Calloway, prep sports editor of the Lansing State Journal, LSJ.com. Brian, we had something that happened that was very unique last night. And it finished off what is going to be unique. Do you know if it's ever happened where the four main leagues, the CAAC Blue, CAAC Red, CAAC White, and CMAC on the boys' side, all had undefeated in league play league champions? Because that happened last night with East Lansing winning the game we were at, and then Sexton going to Portland and beating Portland 53-45. The J-Dubs, 15 straight wins. They end the CAAC White season undefeated with a 17-4 record. I don't know if that's ever happened going back many, many years.
Yeah, I am not sure the history with that as well either, but that's interesting that you do bring that up, because, just kind of when you look, especially with, Sexton and, playing the amount of league games that they play in the CAAC White, just to not get tripped up once and to finish that 14-0, and obviously East Lansing going 12-0 in the blue, and even the CMAC with the amount of league games that they have as well, too, this year as well, too. I mean, it's just kind of impressive by the teams that are at the top of those leagues, because especially in the CAAC Blue, usually you see, someone get tripped up at least once in that league based on the amount of talent there is in that league. But, obviously that didn't happen this year. And like you said, the four main leagues have unbeaten champions. So, yeah,
it's pretty remarkable. Let's talk about Sexton. 15 straight wins. Keyshawn Somerville, Devin Hodges-Smith each had 15 points for Coach DeLeon Deering in his first year. Congratulations to them, and nice to see one of the city schools do really, really well. Again, 15 straight wins, 17-4, and they're a factor in Division II.
Oh, yeah, definitely, and they are a factor. And, they're the top seed for their district that's down in Charlotte next week. So, they can build off of their success and try to make noise in what's pretty much a CAAC White district there in Charlotte, when you have Olivet, Charlotte down there. I believe Eden Rapids is in that district as well, too, and maybe Maple Valley as well, too. But, yeah, I mean, they will be the favorite in that district, but obviously there will be some tough matchups for them when you look at, having to potentially maybe having to play Charlotte on their home floor, or Olivet, who, can be dangerous as well, too, and play them in a game that went down to the wire a couple of weeks ago. But, no, yeah, I mean, they definitely are capable of maybe doing something in March now.
Brian, Waverly was able to finish in a tie for second in the CAAC Blue after they beat Waverly a week and a half ago, or after they beat Okemos on the road a week and a half ago in overtime. That was what they were really aiming for, trying to get a share of second place. They've got it, 9-3 in league play, tied with Okemos, 17-5 on the season. Deontay Pfeiffer, 24 points in a big home win over DeWitt. They go to the Grand Ledge District, and they'll be favored to win that. Yes, they've got to deal with DeWitt and a couple of other teams, but Waverly's the favorite in that district. I like them an awful lot.
Yeah, and Waverly hasn't won a district in a while, which is kind of surprising. They were obviously in the final last year and got knocked off by East Lansing out in St. John's. But, I definitely think that, they're going to enter the week as the favorite. But you can't count out DeWitt. Obviously DeWitt played a tight game with them last night. And, you never know what can happen. But obviously Grand Ledge, Eastern, and St. John's are other teams that will try to be factors in that district as well.
And we'll get to the district matchups a little bit later on. But still going on the boys. Langsburg winning earlier this week. Xander Woodruff, he's going to be an all-state selection, has a legit chance to be Division III State Player of the Year, averaging almost 33 points a game. I mean, this kid, we've both seen him play. He's really, really good. He is the straw that stirs the drink for Coach Tim Beebe. And they got to the quarterfinals last year. They got a chance to go at least that far, if not further, this year.
No, and I think this is a group that is motivated after, falling to E-Course in that quarterfinal down in Ypsilanti last year as well, too. And, I saw them play against Bath and, put up 90 points in a game. They had a running clock a good chunk of the second half as well, too. So that was pretty impressive as well, too. And I know Xander Woodruff had like 35 that game. I know he outscored Bath by himself in that game, but he's definitely had a special season, and he's going to have that Langsburg team ready to go come next week when they host the district at their school,
which they'll be heavily favored to do. Although the road gets tougher later on, they got a chance to play Stockbridge, who's 16-6 on the season, so very credible opponent. But after that, Chesaning could be there in the regionals. Chesaning ended their regular season with a win over Ovid Elsie. They are undefeated, 22-0 on the season, so something's got to give there. All right, let's move on to the girls. Congratulations to DeWitt, outright league champs in the CAAC Blue, just like East Lansing and the boys, undefeated in league play, 12-0, and DeWitt finishes the regular season at 19-2. Well, they got one more to go. Sorry, girls play have 1 week to go, but they're 19-2. And the DeWitt Holt game that I was at on Tuesday, kind of like East Lansing Okemos last night. Close for better than 3 quarters, and then DeWitt puts them away in the last 4 or 5 minutes with a couple of baskets and free throws.
And DeWitt's had an impressive season, and this is another strong job done by Coach Bill McCullen, and obviously Mandy Yule and Tara Kearns were the known commodities for this team entering the season, and they've gotten contributions from a number of other players throughout the way and en route to claiming the outright CAAC Blue Championship. So, it's pretty strong run for them. They played some strong competition as well too. So, like you said, I think DeWitt and we have Williamston as the 2 champions that finished unbeaten in league play on the girls' side of things. I
was going to mention Williamston. You've seen them a lot more than I have. I've seen them play once, and they got crushed by Lansing Catholic earlier in the season. But Pete Cole's got another good squad, getting better throughout the season, 16-4 right now, and they're led by Reese Gaitan and others. Tell us about Williamston girls basketball.
Yeah, Reese Gaitan has been obviously a player that's going to Grand Valley, and she's been key for them. And we really was a driving force in that second win over Hazlitt as they were able to pretty much put themselves in position to claim the outright league title a couple of weeks ago. But she's had some help as well too. Claire Casey has been a player that's been a factor for them. Abby Brandon has also been one of the players that has been a factor for them, and they've gotten some contributions from some bench players as well too, getting en route to kind of getting to where they've gotten to. And they've got an impressive win over Ovid Elsie, so that's nice. Obviously, the 2 wins over Hazlitt are pretty impressive as well too. So they've quietly just built a nice resume. I mean, one of the losses was the Lansing Catholic. I think DeWitt was one of their losses as well too. So no shame in a couple of losses like that. But I think Kelsey was one of their other losses as well too, which is one of the strong teams in Division II as well too. So very strong season for Coach Pete Cool's bunch.
Yeah, absolutely. Brian Calloway, prep sports editor of the Lansing State Journal, LSJ.com. On to the CAAC White. Portland and Catholic ended up sharing that league title, 11-1 in league play. Portland 18-1, Lansing Catholic 15-4. And both clinched shares of the league title this week. And they could play a third time in the district final in a couple of weeks, possibly at Portland High School. Obviously, advantage Portland because they won the last game at Portland High School, and they get to host the district. And who the heck knows? That would be one whale of a ball game coming up in a couple of weeks.
Oh, yeah, definitely that could be a very strong game for those 2 teams to play for a third time. And I'll be interested to see what the paths look like for those teams to get there, obviously, when those pairings come out later this weekend. But, yeah, I think that could be one of the marquee girls basketball districts that we have in Greater Lansing this year.
Yeah, if not the state. All right, moving on to the CMAC. Portland St. Pat's clinched a share of the league championship in the CMAC, winning at Bath, which is very impressive. Bath was undefeated for a majority of this season, but playing top-level teams in the CMAC, you're going to drop a few here and there, and they lose at home 54-46 to St. Pat's. Laney Meredith, 14 points. Riley Schurer had 13. Graceland Rocky, who's had a good year for Coach Al Schraben, she had 11 points, 6 rebounds. I mean, St. Pat's, one of the smallest schools in the entire state of Michigan in terms of enrollment, and Al Schraben just keeps cranking out competitive team after competitive team after competitive team.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. Definitely consistently a factor there, and, obviously they'll have a chance to clinch it outright when they play Fowler. I believe it's on Tuesday they have Fowler, so they'll have a chance to clinch the title outright, and that should be a pretty good game up in Fowler. And
Fowler, you can't count them out. They are only 17-3 right now. Got one more league game to play. They've been to the Breslin Center 3 years in a row, twice a state champion, got beat in the semifinals, and they went on the road and beat a very good Dansville team, 61-39. Dansville not quite as good as they were last year, but Fowler, they just keep on going as well. They don't have the Riley sisters anymore. Doesn't matter. They got players like Katie Spicer, Grace O'Hare. Each of them had 15 points in a big, big road win at Dansville. At worst, they're going to finish second in the CMAC, and there's no shame in that.
No, there's definitely no shame in that, and that's a pretty impressive win last night to beat Dansville by as much as they did. And I know Dansville kind of struggled over the second half of the season, like kind of similar to Bath after getting off to the strong start and kind of dropped a few games here in the strong CMAC. But I think Coach Nathan George has done an impressive job with that program, considering they lost all 5 of their starters, and for them to be in the position that they are in right now.
And finally, we got to talk about the others category. Ovid LC, 18-2. They beat Chesaning last night on the road, 67-34. Mid-Michigan Athletic Conference champions, undefeated in that league, 18-2 overall. Teams like Leslie, first year in the Cascades Conference, they're 15-5, entering a game today against Hanover Horton. And Morris, a team that's 14-5 on the season. The Genesee area Blue champions, they compete very well in that league, Brian. And Aubrey Rogers, the terrific player for Morris, a triple-double, first career triple-double for her last night, 27 points, 10 rebounds, and 10 steals. Morris has been able to do well in their league, Brian, but they have really been unable to be competitive when they get into the district. They've lost in the first round of the districts the last couple of years. That going to change this year?
I think it's going to be tough for them. I haven't seen the pairings, and I forget who they are grouped with in district play, but usually they wind up grouped with teams like Portland St. Patrick and programs like that. So it kind of makes it a lot tougher for them, because I think the CMAC is one of the strongest small school leagues in the state.
Yep.
To go, I think those teams are just kind of better prepared for some of the competition that they see, just based on kind of the battles that they have on a nightly basis in league play. But Aubrey Rogers is a very impressive season. Surpassed 1,000 points. She's been close to triple doubles before this season. Recently she had 20 steals in the game.
Yeah,
to set a school record as well too. So she's just doing a lot of good things for that Morris program.
He's Brian Calloway, prep sports editor of the Lansing State Journal, LSJ.com. Brian, thanks so much for coming on. We'll talk to you same time next week.
Hey, sounds good, Brock. Thanks for having me.
He's Brian Calloway, prep sports editor of the Lansing State Journal. We'll take a break and come back, wrap things up. High School Rewind here on the game, 7:30 a.m. WVFN, brought to you by the Lansing Sports Commission and by Jeff and Chris Metz and Dowding Industries.
.org. WVFN.
Welcome back to High School Rewind on the game, 7:30 a.m. WVFN, brought to you by Jeff and Chris Metz and Dowding Industries and by the Lansing Sports Commission. Wrapping it up here on a Saturday. Coming up next week, 10 a.m. until 11, we'll recap the week that was boys and girls basketball district matchups, as well as the girls last week of the regular season. We'll also go over the girls district pairing matchups because those will be released tomorrow. So that's coming up. Got a busy day today here on the Town Square Media family of stations. Coming up at 11:45 here on WVFN, Detroit Red Wings hockey going for their fourth win in a row. They host the St. Louis Blues. 11:45 a.m. here on WVFN. Because of that, the Sports Life, which usually runs at 11 o'clock as soon as I'm done here, that is going to run at 3 o'clock or immediately after the Detroit Red Wings game here on WVFN. At 7:35 tonight here on WVFN, Detroit Pistons basketball. They are playing the Orlando Magic tonight. Over on 1240 WJIM, Michigan State women's basketball. They're playing Rutgers today, 1:45 p.m. That is with Dalton Shetler, and looking forward to that. And Mandy Jones will be joining them as well. That's at the Breslin Center, so 1:45 in WJIM. And then at 5:30, Michigan State hockey, their regular season finale at Mon Ice Arena against Ohio State, dropped a 6-2 decision to the 6-2 decision to the Buckeyes last night. So they'll try again on senior night. They'll honor all the seniors. 5:30 p.m. pregame. That's on WJIM with Scott Moore and Rob Woodward. And don't forget, Tigers baseball, spring training baseball starts tomorrow afternoon. That is at 1 o'clock here. A majority of the Detroit Tigers spring training games will be right here on the game, 7:30 a.m. WVFN. That's going to wrap it up here for High School Rewind for another week. Thanks to Brian Calloway for joining me, as he always does. And also got to thank Jeff and Chris Metz and Dowding Industries. And also got to thank, Megan Ziemer and her great staff at the Lansing Sports Commission. Really thank them. They do just a absolutely fantastic job all year round. I'm Brock Palmbush. Thank you for listening. This has been High School Rewind here on the game, 7:30 a.m. WVFN. Brought to you by Jeff and Chris Metz and Dowding Industries and Megan Ziemer and her great staff at the Lansing Sports Commission. We'll talk to you next week. Thanks for listening, everybody.